Donald Trump, our president, gave a powerful speech yesterday talking about national security. Here is a short clip from that speech.
First, we must protect the American people, the homeland, and our great American way of life. This strategy recognizes that we cannot secure a nation if we do not secure our borders. So for the first time ever, American strategy now includes a serious plan to defend our homeland. It calls for the construction of a wall on our southern border, ending chain migration and the horrible visa and lottery programs, closing loopholes that undermine enforcement, and strongly supporting our Border Patrol agents, ICE officers, and Homeland Security personnel.
Now, this is so key. One, because the political issues that he just touched on are very real, and I'll get to that in a second. But two, the weird dynamic about what Trump is saying is that we are dealing with a group of people here that hate this country. I don't know if that's really sunk in to people yet. And I know that it's hard to grasp until you actually witness it firsthand and you hear the vitriol in these people's voices when they do these Trump protests and they say they hate America. USA sucks. Down with USA. So it shouldn't be surprising when Trump puts out a national security plan that puts America first, that wants to protect our country. These people hate our country. They're doing whatever they can from within to destroy our country. But aside from that, you know, Trump brings up chain migration. This story was in the Washington Examiner yesterday. I didn't get to it during the show, but it's very, very important. The headline is Trump rips chain migration, $300 billion cost to the American taxpayer, and one immigrant can bring in 120 more. What does that mean? More than 9 million, almost 9.5 million immigrants came here via chain migration in the last decade. And then it's got the charts and the flow charts and everything, and it compares how many immigrants are coming in with these other programs versus the chain migration program, how many come in with skills and assets. And it's bad, folks. It's bad news. There's no vetting process. Most immigrants come to this country through chain migration. There's no standard of coming here at all through this program. And you have 9.3 million in one decade. Now, aside from the national security problems that we have here, and you obviously had recently terrorists coming here from the chain migration program, from the visa lottery program. Yes, terrorists that harmed Americans coming in through these Democrat programs. Not only do they cost us a lot of money, $300 billion specifically in this chain migration deal, but this is why the Democrats really want it. You see, it's not about cutting taxes and saving money and cutting the government fat. It's not about securing this country. It's not even about multiculturalism. It's not even about tolerance. It's not even about wanting to have more immigrants here to contribute to our society. That's not what this is about. This is 100% about votes. 100% about votes. That's what you need to understand about chain migration. The reason Democrats want chain migration is because, as you can see here, 9.3 million in one decade, that's what we call a voter block. And what do? They move them into big cities, and then they try to dominate elections with those voter blocks. That's why they want chain migration. They don't care about national security. They don't care about the people that come here. They just want more votes. This is The War Room. I am your host, Owen Schroyer, and we are live from Austin, Texas, the INFOWARS World Headquarters, the final home stretch here of the Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza. Glad that you could be joining us. Thank you so much for supporting us, for tuning in to the 34-hour live broadcast here at Infowars.com/show. We've got an exciting conclusion to the 34-hour live broadcast today on the War Room. In the first hour, I'm joined by Brandon Tatum. In the second hour, Roger Stone is in studio with Tyler Nixon. He'll be staying over into the third hour with me to get into some of the details right now as far as the reports we're seeing about the legality of Mueller's team obtaining the documents in the Russian probe, specifically the Trump team emails. So Tyler Nixon will be breaking that down with me with all of his legal expertise. I have stacks of news here. If you guys want to do a quick dot cam, today's one of those days where if I get through all of this news, that is like a superhuman effort. So I'm going to try to get through all of the news that I have here today, but it's going to be quite an effort to do that. Now, in the last opening segment, we heard Trump talking about our borders and talking about chain migration. I then broke down why he was calling out chain migration specifically. But now let's look at a case study as to why you cannot have open borders and you cannot force multiculturalism. French mayors panic as migrants overwhelm cities, beg Macron for help. Now, as you can see here, there's a map at the bottom of that, guys. Basically, they are just flooding the big cities with the migrant population, which most of it now is coming from the Middle East. It used to more come from Africa, but now it's more coming from the Middle East, which has, well, you've seen what that's done to France, as you can see in the southeast portion of France, right where Nice is, where you had a terror attack. Very, very red. How about Paris up there in the north? See all that red? Oh, so you're telling me that French politicians use it as a voter block as well? Wow, why shouldn't I be shocked? But now you've got the mayors realizing that what they've done here is they've created a situation that is on the brink of an emergency. And now the mayors of France don't know what to do with all these migrants. They're getting violent. They aren't really contributing to society. They don't really have any prospects. And they kind of end up just kind of being miscreants, vagrants. There were protests. I don't know if it's still going on. I mean, it was an ongoing story. I don't know if it might still be going on. It just kind of lost its luster. Protests and riots in Paris every night because of these migrant groups now trying to make no-go zones. And we just don't want that. It's not that we don't like people or we don't want more people here or we don't want immigration. We want smart immigration. We want to make sure that America continues to be great and isn't brought down to the dregs of a third world nation. Like, I mean, look at what has happened in Sweden, folks. It's really ridiculous, but all kinds of news here. I'm not even sure where to begin. Let's look at some of this stuff coming out here. You know, Trump is such a Russian agent. I had this story. I talked about it yesterday, but I went back and I did a little research, so I wanted to cover it again. The headline was New York Fed raises U.S. fourth quarter GDP growth view to near 4%. So they're saying it could get to 4%. And yesterday, I was alluding to the fact that Obama barely even got to 2%, never even saw a 3% GDP growth, never saw 1/4 of 3%. I think he was the first president ever, perhaps, to never see 3% GDP in a growth in 1/4. But I was saying yesterday, I'm pretty sure now that with this most recent GDP growth that Trump has now doubled any best effort or any best number from the Obama administration. Went back, looked at that. That's right. So President Trump, fourth quarter, and just the fourth quarter since he's been president, fourth quarter GDP growth nears 4%. That is double anything we saw under Obama for 8 years. 8 years. Obama didn't get 1/4 of 3%. Trump's been in for 1 year, fourth quarter, doubles anything we saw under Obama. That's what happens when you stop these regulations. That's what happens when you have a president in there that doesn't hate this country. Single-family housing starts, permits hit 10-year high. So you got all of these different housing indexes, housing markets hitting new highs, confidence in the housing market hitting new highs. You had black unemployment just hit a record low. Latino unemployment hit a record low. And no matter what you think about these tax deals, the tax deal did just pass in the House. Trump's tax plan did just pass in the House. We'll see if it passes in the Senate. I'd be shocked if it did. It's not a perfect tax deal, but based on the research I've done, I will be getting a tax cut, but not much of one. The big tax cut does come for corporations. So when you see the liberal press trying to demonize Trump about the big cats getting big tax cuts, well, they are actually right. Trump wants to cut the corporate tax rate from 35 to 20, but the plan here is to get jobs. And I know that I believe it was Gerald Celente that was on with me last week who disagreed with me, but Gerald's the expert. But I got to say, I don't see how this tax plan is not about jobs, because it's all about bringing businesses back so that they can hire more people. And I think that that's what Trump is planning on doing. And then when he's asked about it, he says it's about jobs too. So we'll see if it passes the Senate. I don't know if this passes the Senate tonight, because here's the deal, folks. You want to know the big hammer that's in this tax plan? You want to know the real hammer that's in this tax plan? You want to know what really is going to be the story? I think this tax plan pretty much guts Obamacare. It ends the mandates and it ends the penalties for those that don't buy into the Obamacare marketplace. So you know what that means? See ya, Obamacare. Bye. Goodbye. So without repealing it, Trump makes a smart move and just guts it via the new tax plan. So that's why I'd be shocked if it passed the Senate, because you still got the likes of the Nancy Pelosi. Guys, it was honestly painful to watch Nancy Pelosi on the floor today. She has a sign out there. She's now bringing signs with hashtags on them. She looks like a high school debate class hero who brings these signs with these hashtags. And then, folks, she is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, gone. Nothing left upstairs in Nancy Pelosi. It's really getting tough to watch, but she keeps getting in the ring, so we will keep reporting on it. I found this story interesting, too. This came from Time. Meet the man running a $100 million campaign to save the Republican majority. I brought this to Roger's attention yesterday, and he was like, yeah, no big story here. And I'm the same way. What is this story? Meet the man running a $100 million campaign to save the Republican majority. The Republicans already have the majority. The Republicans just won the White House. I don't understand. Liberals have this weird way of reporting news with their bias built in. See, they are already of the mindset that Trump's impeached. They're already of the mindset that they've won back the Congress, the 116th Congress in the midterms. And so they put out a story that they're trying to save the Republican majority here. It's like the Republicans are doing just fine. The Democrats are the ones that are broke. The Democrats are the ones that have all these scandals opening up. They can't even get their head right on Al Franken. He needs to resign. Okay, I'll resign, but maybe I won't resign. Well, now he shouldn't resign, but should he have resigned? But now he has to resign. Roy Moore was bad. How the Republicans need saving? Give me a break. The Republicans will save themselves if they just go along with the Trump agenda. You want to save the Republican Party? Get the rhinos out of there like Mitch McConnell. A little Christmas cheer for you here on the INFOWARS Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza. Merry Christmas to you and all of your family out there as you celebrate with us as we get closer to Christmas Eve. I'm celebrating here. I've got my Nutcracker tie on. How festive for that song to be playing. All right. We're going to kind of move back into the Trump-Russia collusion thing here, where essentially everybody in charge of building the case, the fake case against Trump. So basically manufacturing a fake case against Trump, colluding with each other inside the DOJ, the Obama administration, Fusion GPS. And then you had Bruce Orr. So Bruce Orr, in case you're not familiar, was a DOJ official inside the Obama administration. And it turned out that old Brucey boy was meeting with Glenn Simpson of Fusion GPS and with Christopher Steele, the man who supposedly forged the Trump dossier, and then that dossier ended up being floated around and is apparently the reason why the Obama administration ended up spying on him. Now you can see the collusion there. And Orr also visited Obama in the White House some number of 30 times. Bruce Orr's wife, Nellie, also worked for Fusion GPS and was communicating with someone on a ham radio. Well, old Brucey boy was set to testify before a senatorial judiciary committee, but, well, Bruce didn't show up. Here's a Republican, Doug Collins from Georgia, talking about the lack of show of Bruce Orr at the testimony.
Next to this story, Bruce Orr, the Obama Justice Department official, demoted over his undisclosed meeting with Fusion GPS. That's the firm behind the anti-Trump dossier. They were doing opposition research on Trump.
Undisclosed
he was
meeting.
expected to testify today before the Senate
Obama DOJ official with Fusion GPS.
Republican congressman from Georgia and member of the House Judiciary Committee. He is Doug Collins. Sir, it's great to have you on. We love having you on. Why didn't he testify? I mean, his wife worked at that opposition research firm. The FBI paid that firm thousands of money. The DNC was behind it. Well, there's a lot of questions about a DOJ official doing this. I mean, why didn't he show up?
Well, maybe you just outlined why he didn't show up. His wife.
Oh, because he's guilty, huh? Okay.
He had meetings with him, didn't disclose those meetings. I mean, it's becoming an ongoing cycle.
Just pause it real quick. When I'm saying guilty, what I mean is he obviously was meeting with Fusion GPS, coordinating with his wife, the Obama administration, and the entire fake Trump-Russian dossier story to bring Trump down. Now let's go back to Doug Collins.
Yes, I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to come and didn't feel like he could answer it. All it does is continue to see what the American people says is something's not right here. We're not getting the full story. President Trump and the whole investigation, this is something that we need to take a look at. And Mr. Orr not coming, they need to be straightforward. It restores the faith in the Justice Department. And right now we just don't see it.
Now pause it right here. A no-show. Just a no-show. I mean, how is this not a bigger story? A total no-show. He no-shows. Can you imagine if Trump Jr. no-showed at one of his testimonies? What if Roger Stone, who's going to be joining us in the second hour, just no-showed when he was supposed to give testimony to some of these people in what he's dealing with litigation? What if he no-showed? Oh, it'd be the biggest story. Oh, Trump's main man, Roger Stone, no-shows meeting. Clearly he's hiding something. Well, what's Bruce Orr hiding? Let's go back to Doug Collins.
The FBI. The taxpayer funds the DOJ. We, the taxpayer, have a right for transparency to hear what is going on here. I mean, you cannot have the federal police force steering an election or trying to throw it either way, or Justice Department officials doing that. You had a hearing
or trying to remove a duly elected president. That's what they're trying to do.
With what he said?
No, I was actually frustrated with what he said because he made it very clear that he was over and it was him providing oversight to the Mueller investigation because he appointed him. And I asked him at one point, I said, since you appointed him, and I believe Robert Mueller was a good man, I think that the direction of this investigation has went off track because the people that he put on the team.
Oh,
so I said,
well, hold on. Actually, hold on. I just got to correct Doug Collins here for a second. No, Doug. And I don't know if Doug's just doing lip service here because he's on Fox News. But trust me, Jim Jordan in that same committee in the House is well aware that the entire plan from the very get-go with this Trump-Russia collusion was to create a narrative in order to get Trump impeached, or to create a narrative that makes Trump an illegitimate president. And then they force feed that with all their propaganda outlets, and then the average brainwashed liberal has no clue the difference between fact and fiction. And so they sit here and they obsess over Trump-Russia, which is literally made up, fabricated by the opposition in the deep state. Now, I want to switch to another clip. Let's now go to Alan Dershowitz, who's usually known as a liberal lawyer, again, talking about how this whole Mueller thing is spinning back into, well, what Trump might actually want to happen.
Here, and good morning to you. I got a few specific questions for you. Emails in a moment. Trump says he won't fire Mueller. He said that last night. Did you even see that as a possibility? Let's start there.
It's a legal possibility.
I love this too. Just pause it real quick. I love this too. Trump tweets out, "I'm not going to fire Mueller." And then what does the liberal media say the next day? Trump plans on firing Mueller. I mean, it's like clockwork with these people. Continue the clip.
In his authority, it would be foolish to do. He has Mueller in a good position now. A lot of the American public think he's biased against Trump, and that may lead him, because he cares so much about his reputation, to lean over backwards in favor of Trump. So if I were Trump, I wouldn't try to fire him. I would continue to keep the pressure on and raise issues about the emails, etc. Now, Mueller's playing into his hands. Mueller was really foolish in not seeking warrants for those emails. It's a close question. But why not seek the warrant? Getting warrants is like getting candy at Christmas. It's very easy to get. And not getting the warrant gives the defense an opportunity to challenge it.
Not getting a warrant.
Well, okay, there's an interesting answer on that. Let me circle back on that, but just answer this broad question. Do you think Mueller has a credibility problem, or is that just an opinion?
All right, so let's bring that down. So not getting a warrant. Oh, wait a second. Here, let's see these headlines. Trump transition lawyer, Mueller improperly obtained documents in Russian probe. Oh, didn't get that warrant, did he? Legal analysis. Why Mueller's seizure of transition emails likely violated the law. Ouch. Mueller investigative team breaking the law. Tyler Nixon is going to be joining me later to really get into the nitty-gritty with this in the third hour. Folks, before we go to break, though, and we'll be back with Brandon Tatum, this is the last day to guarantee delivery of our products before Christmas. If you're ordering Christmas gifts at InfoWarsStore.com, today is the day to get them delivered before Christmas. And part of our 34-hour broadcast here, bringing back Christmas, the Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza, all kinds of specials. Listen to all these products that are 50% off. Super Male Vitality, Brain Force Plus, Alpha Power, Cell Force, Survival Shield X2, Vitamin Mineral Fusion, The Real Red Pill, Super Blue Fluoride-Free Toothpaste and Mouthwash, Secret 12, Vitamin B12, all InfoWars Life Select storable food products, and free shipping store-wide. Free shipping store-wide. Order today. Get your gifts by Christmas. Welcome back to the War Room. I'm your host, Owen Schroyer. Brandon Tatum is my guest. You can find him on Twitter at The Officer Tatum. He also has a YouTube channel, BT Cruiser 34. That's where you can find all of his content. Former police officer, regular here on the War Room. And actually, you know, I didn't check on this, but I'm pretty sure, Brandon, you played football at the University of Arizona, correct?
I did.
All right, that's what I thought. So let's start with this story. Now, the NFL, we've been talking about this. I think it's sad what's happened to the NFL. I think it's bad to see that they're going to go ahead and cut their nose off to spite their face here. They don't care about the ratings. They're just going to go ahead with their political agenda. But I don't know if you heard about this. Timing of trademarks suggests new XFL may be a response to NFL protests. So, folks, you may have heard of the XFL. It was a alternative football league from years ago. And now Vince McMahon, who knows Donald Trump well and is a billionaire on his own right, apparently just filed for a bunch of new entertainment LLCs. And it's rumored that because the NFL is kind of collapsing right now, that McMahon might be trying to bring the XFL back. But, you know, just as someone that grew up playing football and played in college, I would imagine you were an NFL fan at one time like myself. I mean, what do you make of it? I mean, how do you try to say, well, I'm going to boycott this league because they don't have the same political views, but at the same time, you know that the entire league there's patriots in the league. I mean, look at guys like Pat Tillman. Look at guys like Larry Fitzgerald. There are good guys in this league that you want to support, but they make it tough when other guys are out there kneeling for the anthem.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the NFL will prevail because at some point in time, the BS that they're doing is going to run out. At some point in time, their little message, their little madness, their little hissy fit They're going to get tired of it. They're going to find a new thing to do. But I do think a lot of people in the NFL, barring some of these players, because I honestly believe that some of these players don't know why they're taking a knee. They're just doing it because the player next to them is doing it. And if you're a rookie on the team, you better do what everybody else is doing. You cannot be an outcast. I think it's going to wash away, man. It's just trendy. After a while, they're going to stop taking a knee. They're going to get back to the basics. And I think people are going to enjoy it more. I would love to see them come up with the XFL again just to give us some more alternatives. But the XFL could potentially never get big enough to completely wipe out the NFL. It's too much money, too much investment. It's too much history behind it. And then the players are just an amazing group of athletes that you just cannot replicate. So I think it's a great idea for them to do that. But I honestly think that this taking a knee thing is trendy and it'll go away, hopefully soon.
Yeah, it would probably have to start hitting the players in the pocketbooks, before that they really realize that this is something they might want to stop doing. Because they've said, some of them have said, hey, if this means don't come to the game, then don't come to the game. Then it's like, okay, well, then you're not going to get paid as much, obviously. But maybe there's another angle to this, too, where Americans are becoming less obsessed about football, if you will, and they're more concerned about, their families and their personal lives or, what's going on in politics even.
I think this was to be honest, I think it was wonderful to a certain degree that they took a knee, because I really think it helped people reevaluate where their priorities were. Because after a while, you start to realize that, look, I don't have to watch football. I don't need to. It's just for fun. So I really honestly believe that this actually helped people come to grips with reality that they do not need football. And hopefully here moving forward, we'll see people looking at real issues that football presents, like this concussion thing. Literally every game, people are tearing ACLs and breaking legs. So I really do think that that's a huge issue that the NFL needs to address. And I believe that people are going to start paying attention to that. And that should be what the NFL should be focused on, instead of worrying about people taking a knee and trying to be activists and social justice warriors.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if the ratings continue to go down. I mean, that's what the NFL thrives on, those TV ratings. That's where the big money is. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually do respond to those ratings at some point. Here's another story I saw, and it made me think of you because you were serving as a police officer. I've never heard of a story like this, and I wanted to hear if you'd ever heard of anything like this. State to keep spying on sick firefighters despite outcry. So the story here is, in New Jersey, the state has decided when a firefighter, I guess, calls in sick or is on medical leave or what have you, they send spies. And they literally spy on them and they follow them around to make sure, I guess, they're not playing hooky or whatever. And the city has said, no, we don't want to fund this. This is being paid for by the taxpayer dollars. I mean, but I can't even, have you ever heard of that when you were a police officer? If someone called in sick, did they send a spy to monitor their behavior? I mean, this is unreal to me.
It's such a waste of money, and it's so ridiculous. Look, if you call in sick, you're sick. That's it. You're a grown man. You're a grown woman. You're responsible.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
You got to think of this. This is sick time that's accrued. So you've earned time that if you get sick or if your children are sick, you can take time off of work. This is stuff that you've accrued. This is not somehow benefiting them. You've worked hard to get this time to take off. So I think it would be a double waste of taxpayer dollars, is that you're working accrued time that belongs to you, and then you have people monitoring you when you're utilizing your time. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. At the end of the day, if you feel like people are not taking it serious or they're taking advantage of the system, then change the principle. Don't go and start spying on people in their personal life, because you can be sick and still be mobile. So what are you going to do if a person is sick, but they want to cut their grass and they're too sick to go to work, but they can cut their grass? What are you going to do?
They have to go pick up their daughter or something.
Right. What are you going to do? You're going to say, well, you're not that sick. You can't determine that. A person can be sick. A person can even have a mental thing where they're taking. That's what sick leave is for. It's not just for illnesses. It's for fitness for work. So if you're not fit, if you're having a bad day or something, you can take that time off. So I think it's absolutely ridiculous for somebody to be spying and wasting money. But this is what they do. They just waste money all the time for no reason.
Exactly. And actually, they found the number, the private investigator that they found out that was following around the firefighter that had taken a sick day cost the city $17,000. So, but you've never heard of anyone following, someone in your unit that may have called in sick. You've never heard of that before?
Yes, it's unheard of.
Yeah, and it should remain that way. When I saw this, I couldn't even believe that this was a real story. Here's another one that, again, you can't even, how do you make sense of this? Racist trees are now going to be coming down from I guess it's a golf course. It's in California, but essentially you've got, a golf course in California, and then like any other golf course, they separate the golf course from the next neighborhood or the road or whatever it is with trees. That's very common. It kills sound. It kills sight. It's very nice looking, so they put trees there. But because this neighborhood is black, I guess it's predominantly black people in this neighborhood, the NAACP is taking action here, and they're going to have these racist trees taken down.
It's just the NAACP gets stupider and stupider every time I even hear them mentioned. They used to be, promoting positive things for African Americans moving forward. Now they're just a crap show, man. They're just a big joke. This golf course wants to have trees for decor and make it look nice, so you feel like you're on an elegant golf course, and you don't want to have to look at the back of somebody's houses and have access to a community. Because I tell you what, when golf balls start flying over, when people start peering into other people's backyards, they're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, a golf ball is now going to fly over and hit, a car or something because they took the tree down. Or how about this? Now, instead of having a nice row of trees in your backyard, you're going to have a nice row of stumps.
Yeah. And then they're going to call that racist. Soon as a ball hit somebody's house and there's an epidemic of balls going through windows and stuff in the community, they're going to say, oh, it's racist.
They're going to start a new campaign. They're going to say, put the trees back. Yeah, oh, my gosh. I can already see that coming. They're going to take the trees down, and then they're going to complain because of golf balls and golf carts and noise and the sights of tree stumps, and then they're going to put the trees back up. I think you're actually onto something there. Another segment with Brandon Tatum on the other side. We're going to get into a little bit of this Washington, D.C. intrigue and a little bit of the liberal madness. They're trying to censor people on YouTube. We'll see if Brandon has had to deal with any of that. Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones from everybody here at INFOWARS. Thank you for tuning in to the stretch run here of the 34-hour Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza. My guest here is Brandon Tatum at the Officer Tatum on Twitter, and you can find him on YouTube as well. BT Cruiser 34. There's his Twitter account right there. I found this story. This is kind of an older story. It's been resurfacing. It's kind of gotten different headlines, but basically the story here is it all started because Taylor Swift apparently had a great 2017. So then, of course, they twist that into a straight white multimillionaire pop star had a great 2017, and the liberal press just continued to twist it, and it just became 2017 was great for straight white people. So I just want to do some fact checking here, Brandon. How was 2017 for you? Did you have a good 2017?
Oh, this is probably the best year of my life. So,
all right. Well.
So I guess they got to add black people in there too, man. This is one of the best years of my life.
Wow. Well, that's amazing that they how could they just discount you like that? That's so rude. I mean, unbelievable.
Racist.
Wow. Well, that's just what we deal with here. Now, Brandon, he's got a YouTube channel. He puts up good content there. A lot of it goes viral. Have you had to deal with any censorship, Brandon, on your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, man. It was pretty bad. I made videos. I had made videos for about a year, and I started monetizing my videos. All the videos became monetized. So I don't know, like 30 videos were monetized. When I made the more recent viral video about the NFL players taking a knee at the national anthem, YouTube literally demonetized every video for the last year, every single video. I had to go back in and challenge every single video on my page. And I literally, some of the videos that didn't do as well, I just didn't even worry about them because it would have been just too much trying to go back and challenge 30 to 40 videos. And I thought it was very interesting that all of this time, YouTube had no problem with my videos, but then when my page became viral, or it's more viral, then they had a problem and they censored all of my videos. So it's been a huge problem, and I don't even know how to get away with this stuff sometimes.
So now, I'm trying to get this. So you're saying that it was one video that you think sparked the censorship, but for whatever reason, they just decided to censor all of your videos.
Right. I think because my channel became really popular. Like, I think I had 40,000 people follow me at one time from one video. So a lot of my followers came from that one video. And as soon as that video launched, as soon as my followership started growing, they literally demonetized all of my videos. And literally, they were demonetizing some of the videos they never gave back to me.
So you're still in that process then?
Title.
So you're still kind of are you going to try to get them remonetized, or is too much of a hassle?
Yeah, some of them I just let go, man. The ones that had less than like 40,000 views or so, I just let them go. And some of the ones that had, 100,000, 600,000. And I even wonder now, man, I have my own show called The Truth that you can see right there. And literally, my show is just 1,000 views a piece. So I don't know if it's marketing on our part or is YouTube still censoring and not making The Truth go viral.
Yeah, my guess, usually what I've seen when it's stuff like that is, you're getting more popular, you're trending, and so you'll start to pop up on like popular videos for people that have similar interests. If people use YouTube, they know that, there's these bars and each one is kind of categorically put out there, and then there'll be trending ones, there'll be hot topics, watch again. And so you probably got launched up to like trending because you had these viral videos. And that's what they probably did, is they probably just took you off of that trending. They probably algorithmed you out of that program just like they did to us, so that people have to go and actually, search you out specifically, and nobody can just find you unless they know who you are. That's probably what they're trying to do to you, just like they're doing to us now.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I literally, I saw videos that I made in the past that had 40, 50, 60, 70, 100,000 views. And then now, literally, the same type of videos, the same type of subject matter, 2,000, 3,000 views, 10,000 at the most. It's crazy to me. I don't understand how to get away with it. Hopefully that enough of us make a fuss about it that they start changing, or at least release the algorithm to make sure that our videos can go viral like everybody else.
You know what? I don't understand this. I was just thinking about this. Usually when people get their videos demonetized, it's either talking about transsexuals or gender biases, or talking about something with radical Islam. But I've never even really seen you cover either of those topics really that much. I mean, why did they censor your videos?
There was literally a video that said why I don't feel oppressed like other black people. I think that's a valuable argument. And
are you kidding me? That's what they censored?
They censored it completely. They said no advertisement at all, not even minimum. They said no advertisement. And then the funny thing is that I was looking online. See, I don't know why they censor certain things. I was looking online, looking at music videos, and I saw a Rihanna video. I forget the name of it now that I'm on air. But in the video, I had to turn the thing off because she's dancing and you literally can see her breast through her shirt. And I'm like, this is inappropriate content. What if a kid was to look at this and literally see a person nude on YouTube? And they don't even demonetize that. That thing is full monetization.
Oh, and if you would have done a video that said something like, how white people are oppressing black people or something like that, they probably would have set that to the top.
Yeah, yes, they would. They would have, for sure. But you say anything that is reasonable, that's relatively controversial because people don't like it, then they shun your video. But I think this video, white privilege, you know what? I feel like that should be a super viral video.
Yeah, that video to me,
people loved it on Facebook, but on YouTube for some reason only have 10,000 views.
Yeah, and then you look at your other videos that go viral, and it's stuff where you're just kind of shooting with your cell phone. You're not even really planning on it necessarily going viral. That video, you had the whole setup, and it looks great. So yeah, they're definitely trying to keep you down on YouTube, no doubt. And this story came out of Variety this morning. Google Chrome's browser will start blocking ads come February. Actually, Variety, Google has been blocking ads for like a year now. They blocked our ads over a year ago to try to stop some of our funding. Maybe they're going to finally start admitting that they're censoring people, but they're going to have some sort of nice spin on it. Like, oh, well, we just don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah, I think it's a ruse, man. You know how they're trying to bring up this Russia thing, how they were saying, you know, Russia bought ads on Facebook. They literally want to push this so they can then control advertisement. So they can say, this is the government can say, this is the advertisement that's acceptable. This is the advertisement that's not acceptable. They literally want to push it to that point so that they can control us. And then when they feel the need, when there's a Republican candidate that's coming out and we push things or we talk about them, they can be able to decide whether or not that's appropriate advertisement or appropriate content and shun it. That's exactly what I think they're trying to do.
Wow, it sounds like what you just described is fascism. Yes, that's what it's called, fascism. Amazing. The fascists don't point that out. Here's a couple other stories about YouTube censorship. I mean, folks, this is just ridiculous. YouTube temporarily bans Europeans from viewing Cernovich documentary on migrant rape crisis. So you got countries like Sweden where rape has gone up like 6,000% in the last 5 years with the incoming migrants, but you're not allowed to know about that. And then this is the ultimate just hilarity to me. YouTube censored FCC chairman Ajit Pai's net neutrality video. So the same people that are excoriating Ajit Pai for not being open with the internet are censoring Ajit Pai from the internet. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up, Brandon.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. It feels like we're living in the Matrix, man. When is it going to change? When are we going to actually see them being fair? I really think it's going to come down to us stepping up, making a fuss about it and saying, you know what, the liberals, they know how to go out and protest and make a fuss about things. We need to start making a fuss about some of this stuff so that we can stop getting censored and all kinds of other foolishness that's happening to us. And I'm not saying go out and picket and have signs and block traffic. What I'm saying is that we need to continue to tell our viewership that, look, we're getting censored. We need to talk about it. We need to make a fuss about it so that they can actually change something. And we're not going to be quiet anymore. We're going to start standing up.
Yeah, and if we're going to stand against fascism, let's look at the real fascists, and those are the ones in Silicon Valley that don't want any opinion that hurts their agenda. Specifically, it seems like the biggest one is open borders. But yeah, the genders, 500 genders, you know, someone not fitting into the stereotype box that they want them in politically. They got to censor all that stuff. Brandon Tatum, thanks for joining us today. At the Officer Tatum on Twitter, the YouTube channel before they completely delete him. BT Cruiser 34. Thanks for joining us, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, when we get back, Roger Stone and Tyler Nixon will be joining us.